Goeiedag, good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. Now it's becoming more and more apparent that members of Parliament in the United Kingdom, at least, do not serve the people, but they serve a completely different agenda. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, on Loving Life, you missed out on an explosive video that I posted on lovinglifetv.com earlier this evening about just what is going to happen in the United Kingdom with the lockdown. And you'll understand why there's some very nefarious things happening, and they're now becoming apparent. But with that in mind, I want to tell you what's going on when it comes to what we call VIPs traveling the world. And this comes from the mouth of John Whittington, who is the minister in charge of the media. Let me tell you what it says. John Whittington says travel quarantine rules do not apply to important people. The media minister has said that people who are important should be entitled to avoid tough quarantine rules when travelling to the United Kingdom. Now, just a week or so ago I said, has the Great Reset already begun? And what I was meaning is, do we already have two sets of laws, one for the VIPs or the very important people, and a completely different set for you and I, because we don't fit the bill? Well, apparently that is the case now, especially in the United Kingdom. The media minister has said that people who are important should be entitled to avoid tough quarantine rules when travelling to the United Kingdom. Speaking on Sky News, John Whittingdale was asked why players, officials and others coming to London for the Euros final on the 11th of July should be allowed in without self-isolating. His reply was, "We've always said that for some people who are important, players for instance." The presenter Kay Burley interrupted him saying, "So people who want to go on holiday are not important, is that what you are saying?" And of course he responded, "No, of course not. We're talking a very limited number of people who are coming in, and they're also subject still to quite significant restrictions." He went on to say they're not just able to travel around Britain, they come in to attend a match, then they go away again. We wouldn't have been able to host the tournament at Wembley if we hadn't allowed the players and people associated with the teams to come in and do so. So you automatically now have two sets of rules, whichever way you look at it. Mr. Whittingdale was speaking as travel industry leaders gather in London for a day of action in protest at the quarantine rules on returning to the UK, which, they say, amount to a ban on international travel. Ministers are due to decide on Thursday what changes to make to the changes to the red, amber and green lists, the last of which is the only group of countries from which travel to the UK is permitted without quarantine. At present, the only feasible holiday destinations from the UK are Gibraltar and Iceland. The media minister said, "We have said that we will be looking later in this week to make revisions to the green list, and I hope that we can put more countries onto it." He said, "I quite understand why people want to go on their holidays. I would say to them, you can have a great holiday in Britain, and I think a very large number of people will decide this year that that is what they're going to do." He said he could understand the frustration of travel industry leaders who had announced illegal action against government decisions on international travel. The UK has far higher infection rates in popular holiday destinations including Malta, Italy, Spain, France, Greece and Portugal, which has moved from green to amber in the last review. Whittingdale went on to say, "We were forced, sadly, to put Portugal temporarily back on the amber list because of the case rate there. These are expert decisions by the scientists. They make recommendations to government, and it takes account of a range of factors. Mr. Whittingdale played down hopes of an early decision for fully vaccinated travellers to avoid quarantine, saying only, "I hope it may even be possible in due course to relax, for example, restrictions for people who, for instance, have had 2 vaccines." Now you'll notice how if you go and take the jab, you're getting these, what they call them, treats. Whereas if you don't, if you're an anti-vaccine, you don't have the jab, then you're in the naughty box. You're not allowed to travel. And of course, this is what everybody has been suggesting is going to happen. And here it is starting to happen. Let's continue. Whittingdale said, "But these are things that are being kept under constant examination. When we feel it is safe to make these changes, then we will do so." The minister said, "We are way ahead of any other country in Europe in terms of the proportion of our population who are vaccinated, and that offers a degree of protection. In fact, Malta has vaccinated a significantly higher proportion of its people than the United Kingdom." Now, if you look at Israel, the first country basically to throw the vaccine right across the population, it has some of the harshest anti-vaxxer regulations in place. You've got a little green pass on your mobile phone if you've had the vaccine that allows you to go into certain places. And there are a whole lot of regulations and limitations to freedom of movement that Israel is now bringing in against their population. And their suggestions, again, you have to go to lovinglifetv.com, that the United Kingdom is soon going to be following in the footsteps of Israel, but at a far higher level of security. Please remember to subscribe to Loving Life on YouTube. Please remember to register on lovinglifetv.com. That's the platform we're moving to. Please like this video, please share this video, and above all, please stay safe. Bye for now.